Hi, everyone, and welcome back to It Depends, I Guess podcast. I'm Jackie,
And I'm Caroline.
and back there we have,
DJ.
yeah, for a second there you forgot your name. So today this is our episode two.
Two.
Yeah, I'm already thinking it is just two episodes. um, okay, before I go into the theme for this specific episode, how's your week been? How have you been?
This week has been amazing. It's Sunday. I got to
Yes.
see my teammates. We went out for fondue. It was
Very
fantastic.
Swiss. Mhm.
It's a very Swiss thing to do. We have to do it in winter. I loved it. And yesterday we went to a really nice cocktail bar with you.
Yes, that was really good.
Fantastic cocktails
Oh
in
my God,
Zurich.
yes.
If anyone
Highly
is
recommend.
around, yes, we'll highly recommend that cocktail bar.
Yeah.
It's been fantastic, and we're excited for episode 2. What
Yep.
about your week?
My body is still doing whatever my body wants to do.
Yeah.
So this coming week, well, one of the things that came with 40 for my body is anemia
Oh,
and iron deficiency
Yes.
for whatever reason. So I'm getting an iron infusion this week.
okay.
But what's odd is that since the last year,
Mm-hmm.
I've basically been getting an infusion every quarter, every 3 months.
Yeah.
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 Because the last one I had was in November. Then now here we are in February getting another one.
Those
which
seem
is-
too frequent for.
They do.
Yeah.
But, one day in one of the episodes, we'll talk about how women's health is just, it's guesswork. People are just out here guessing with our bodies.
Yes.
Yeah. I've become like my own, people say you should be your own advocate when it
Yes.
comes to health. But I really become that person
Yes.
where I go to a doctor and I'm like, no, I have a file on myself. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I can't do this. Should I do that?
Yes.
Like but
That-
I mean,
Oh, sorry
is
to
what
hear
it is.
that. Yeah.
no, it's okay. It just comes with like fatigue sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
Yeah.
I can't complain much.
I've had 2 instances where I've had an iron infusion,
Mm.
and sometimes we try to guess whether it's the diet we have that's different from what we had in in Kenya,
Yeah.
and the changes, the minerals, whatever we
Yeah,
have.
whether it's lack of seeing
Yeah.
the sun or it's
Yes.
winter or
Yes.
it's like you're playing whack-a-mole. It's like
Yes.
it's not that thing. All right, let's try supplements. All right, let's
Yes.
try. Yeah.
Infusion.
Yeah.
So, but I hope
Yeah.
you get better, you feel better, and
I
you
will.
find a permanent solution.
And now
actually.
it sounds like I have a cold again. This is weird.
Yeah.
Basically I've been my cold are like it's like I have a cold every 4 weeks now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aren't you getting those allergies that come in spring? I know spring is not too far.
Don't
but
tell me my body's becoming white. That is stressing me out.
Yeah.
But now I sound like I have a cold, and this has been for the last 3 weeks. So I don't know. But we're alive. We're here.
Yes.
It's all good.
For titis.
Yes. Kicking my ass. Yes, it is. It is. Any fun things you've seen on the internet since we last met?
I actually do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that will be a segment that we have at the beginning of our episodes
that
on
would
the
be
fun
cool.
things on the
Yes.
internet, because we plan to be unserious.
Yeah, life is hard enough.
Yes.
Hard enough.
So I think a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
Sabrina Elba dropped a video where she introduced our husband, Idris Elba. And first of all, when I saw the video, it was fantastic. I think it was an ad for
An
something.
ad for honestly,
Yes.
I watched that thing like 5 times.
I
I
know.
still cannot tell you what the ad was for. I was just like, interesting. Okay.
Oh, yes. We
Yeah.
see him moving around.
Yeah.
Yes.
No
Idris.
clue what the ad is about.
I believe the comment section is what got me. And I still go back to read these comments where everybody's like, thank you for your sacrifices. Everybody's telling
you for your
Sabrina,
services.
we are grateful for your generosity.
I'm telling you, if there is an award for caption of the year,
Yes.
that was it.
Yes.
It's like, ladies and gentlemen,
Our husband.
I said,
yeah.
yes, please. I'm glad you're recognizing us.
She has recognized that she has sister wives, and we accept and acknowledge
Yes.
and thank her for her generosity,
Exactly.
for sharing Idris with us.
Yes.
And
That's the kind of confidence I need in life. I
Yes.
know my husband is our husband. Got it.
our husband. And you, anything that captured your
let me
fancy
tell
this
you.
week?
This week oh Lord, this was on Kenyan internet streets.
Yes.
Bonnie Halbale
Yes.
who I think is a senator for Kakamega County.
Yes.
That's my dad is was Luya.
Yes.
Is Luya. So I'm half Luya, so from that side of the country, who saw it fit to have a press conference to let us know how many wives he has, how many kids from each wife, and how each of those kids are copyright. So we don't need DNA. I was like, this is what we're doing? A whole press conference. And I mean, later down the line, I had to like dig around and understand what is the context of all this.
Yes.
And some other politician maybe had said something. So he's out here proving. But even what was so funny is how he was doing it. He had a paper.
Oh.
And he was reading. He was like, I married, my first wife is XYZ. We have 3 kids. Then he flipped page 2.
He needed a reference
Then
point.
he's like, wife number 2, we have 8 children, all copyright. And then he's like, oh, sorry, excuse me. Goes back to page 1. I said he had like a file. Yes. Like, yes, number 1, number.
How many kids does he have in total?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think there was 2, 8. I don't know. There's at least 12.
It reminds me sort of our former president Kibaki when he's
Exactly.
Yes.
And it was in the middle of a famine. The country was experiencing famine, drought.
Yes.
There was like calls to like fundraise, like to help feed people.
Yes.
So when I saw a press conference, national press conference, I
Yes.
thought it was going to be something about maize, and we're distributing maize somewhere or whatever, or some. Then he says, I have only one wife.
Now, Boni Harwale is here saying he has 4 wives. I think it's good to state where you stand.
And it's, I mean, you know, I gotta love my country. That's what tickled me this week.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes, that's what tickled me this week.
I saw where that began. I think there was a barrio, one of his farmhands.
Oh, yeah.
There was a barrio and I saw a picture somewhere saying the wives and Boni were attending a funeral for the farmhand. And I think questions were raised after that. That's why he had to do the press conference.
We know in our country that by customary law, you can have multiple wives.
Yes.
Nobody needs to question. We don't need to know how many.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
It's not illegal.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's you know, I hope he also calls press conferences to update on things he's doing for his county, to be honest.
So.
But
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, no. Anyway, so anything catch your fancy this week on the internet?
Not really. Only that, well, I don't know if I should mention it, but I didn't watch the video. First of all, I just want to clarify that Drake's private parts are somewhere on the internet. A friend rang me and told me about it. I said, listen, I don't want to know. I don't know why men are discussing other men's body parts. It's just...
I want to understand. Your friend rang you.
Yeah.
This was a news update.
Yeah. Like, he rang me. Smokey rang me.
Oh, we're calling him out.
Smokey, we call that.
Yes.
He rang me and say, yo. So I was more like in the frame of mind. And they're saying, okay, look, it's not for me.
Yes.
Okay. If it's for you, it's up to you. You know, but it was that was the most.
Yeah, I
it was a slow news week, I'll be honest.
It truly was.
Very slow.
Which, I mean, to be honest, I didn't see the video. Also, I don't have the strength to dig for the video. Oh,
okay. Look at the way I'm smiling. I'm the queen of digging rabbit holes.
So you dug it for the video.
Yes.
To me, if I go and see what's trending, if 3 tweets down, I've not seen whatever video it is, I'm out. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah. I saw, so it started from TikTok. I saw some comments, some creators having created content around what they saw. And I'm like, okay, I need to see what they saw. So apparently you could only find it on Twitter. So I went down Twitter. I'm up to date on that.
Yeah.
On X, yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I did. Yeah, no, that's funny. All right. Okay, so the theme for this week is something that is close to my heart. People who know me know this is my favorite topic in the entire world.
Yes.
And that is scamming.
Yes.
And specifically how I think the scamming landscape, when you talk about diversity and inclusion, there needs to be some diversity and inclusion when it comes to scams. And And I'm talking about, okay, so first of all, let's go into like trying to break down
Yes.
category of scams.
Yes.
Right. So I kind of I put them like broad buckets, and down the line we'll have other episodes that go into the specific
Yeah.
avenues or categories of
Yes.
scamming. So there's the scam that is a lot of African religion, or how in parts of, I mean, it's just not just in Africa, I guess it's global.
Yes.
But there's the one that comes in through religion,
Yes.
right? So we've seen and a few big names have been trending in the region.
Yes.
So there's that one category which
Yes.
I throw in, that's like the ones tied around religion.
Yes.
Okay. Then there's love scams
Oh, yes. Yes.
and
yes.
romance scams,
Yes. Yes.
which are big, like huge. This is, once I started digging down that hole, I was like, oh, this is weeks and weeks of content.
Before you go there, love scams are a whole industry.
It's huge.
Yes.
Huge. But then, anyway, we'll come into that. Because I feel like there's and maybe, should I recommend that channel? Anyway, on YouTube, there's
Yes.
a few folks who are doing a lot of digging and investigation to like romance scams.
Yes.
And they basically just try to help people who say,
Yeah.
I've been talking to this person online, I haven't seen them.
Yes.
And they go and do like a lot of the research, look at the picture, reverse image search, all that stuff. Got it. But then a good chunk of those come out of like West Africa.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
The
yes.
people who are doing this scamming.
They're called the Yahoo boys
Yes.
or the internet boys.
Yes.
Yes.
Which I feel like they're not maximizing their potential. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
Then there's like the Ponzi, the area that I feel like we need to diversify.
Yes.
Like the big money scams,
Yes,
right? So the
yes.
ones that are leveraging technology
Yes.
oriented scams, which I think a big chunk of that is dominated by our Caucasian community.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And those to me are truly fascinating.
Yeah.
And I think over the weekend I watched Bitcoin,
Yes. Yes.
which is on Netflix.
Yeah.
So that's one we will dig into today.
Yes.
But other scams is like MLMs,
Yes,
multi-level marketing, also known as pyramid schemes.
Yes, yes. So from what I've seen is that the Ponzi schemes are the scams, but multi-level marketing has sort of been, most governments allow that to happen, but there is some sort of scamming that happen within multi-level marketing.
Yes, a lot of
Yes,
it.
yes, yes.
And it's been, to be honest, I don't think I've come across any multi-level marketing that has not been a scam.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which also begs the question around legislation and why a lot of them just get by.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
that is beyond me. But yeah, so my focus is like the big money,
Where the big bucks are.
where the big bucks are, where they're leveraging tech.
Yes.
That's the ones that
Yeah.
I really want us to go into.
Yeah. And how we can diversify that.
And how we can diversify that. But before I go into that, do you have a favorite scammer? Which is an odd question, but one who has truly fascinated you.
Well, I don't know if I have one.
Have-
I don't have one, but I followed a couple of,
couple?
like on Bitcoin, I saw
Yeah.
the Ray guy
Yeah.
and how he managed to like pass through so many hoops and he came out clean. He was not even...
Let me tell you, that's, at the end, the ruling,
Yes.
I even sat up, I was like, oh, anyway, we'll dig into that deeper.
Yeah. Do you have one? Do
Yes.
you have your favorite
My
scammer?
favorite scammer of all time,
Yeah.
the GOAT, is Elizabeth Holmes, the one from Theranos.
Oh, yes.
The one who told
yes.
folks, I have a technology where you can just prick your finger,
Yes, yes.
one drop, and we can do 45
Yes,
billion
yes,
checks on
yes,
all the
yes,
diseases.
yes.
And if you've gone to the doctor and you need to do tests, they take a good chunk of your blood,
Yes.
right? So it's like vials and vials. And if
Yeah.
you're doing like the full blood work, it's a lot,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So, yes, granted for somebody to say, okay, there's this thing that you can just put a drop.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, okay.
Yeah.
But then also looking back, I'm like, really, with all the years of like medical testing, etc.
Yes.
Why is it that suddenly we went from like vials to like the
Yeah,
drop?
yeah.
But I think one of the things I like about that and why I call it my favorite scam is First of all, we're talking about diversification. She's a woman
Yes.
who was doing big bucks scamming.
Yes.
Then she had big wigs in the board of her company.
Yes.
From like Henry Kissinger, like big names.
Yes.
And then she was recruiting like big names from like Apple to like come in.
Yes.
And people are in labs working. The whole thing
Yes.
is just what they call it, smoking mirrors.
Yes.
Nothing. She was getting awards. Presidents were coming to. She was even talking about the time like Biden, I think, was visiting one of their facilities.
Yes.
And people know it's coming and they know they don't have this thing is a scam.
So there was no product behind this, like she could.
No. So they're bringing in like fake equipment. I was like, oh my God. That, I mean, first of all, that had real life implications because
yeah.
it was people who were getting results that were not right or
yes.
saying that they're clear for health and their
Yes.
cancer return.
Yes,
So
yes,
for sure, the fact that it touched on people's lives that
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
totally don't condone it.
Yeah.
But also on the other, not but. And in addition, it's just fascinating to see what she was able to run in that kind of, with that, I don't know.
Yeah.
It truly fascinated me. But okay, so let's kind of pivot. Actually, do you have any favorite scammers, DJ?
Scammers.
Or
Yeah.
people who've
No.
caught your fancy that you're like truly fascinated by what they were able to do?
No, I'm not a. I don't. There's no one I look up to like.
Not look up to, but it's like their
You're
story.
like,
You're
they're
just
so
like,
smart at that.
yeah, like that's, and it's not. It's some of them are fascinating, and I guess we can even go into like, for example, the Bitcoin. How much effort? Because at some point, if I was coming, right, I assume you go into it because you find a quick way to make a shit ton of money.
Yes.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Now, where you start working so hard
Yes.
to keep the con going,
Yes.
it's like either you exit or you make it legit.
So what I've seen is that the scammers actually start believing in their scam. They're like, actually, this thing
they
could
buy their
actually
own
be.
Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is the same like, I think it's on Netflix, the doctor who was pretending that he had.
Yes.
At some
He
point,
was
he started
doing-
believing. Yeah,
True.
He had the
yeah,
plastic
that,
thing. to-
for your, what is it, the trachea.
The trachea, yes. And I think at some point it starts off as a scam. And then you sort of get this godlike idea. Actually, this could work. So you continue scamming people with the belief that it is working. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And even now, I was talking about like diversifying of this landscape. What I found interesting, and maybe it's just that there's not enough documentation of a lot of these things happening.
Yeah.
Is when it comes to these big scams, like multi-billion-dollar
Yeah,
scams, where
yeah.
companies even being valued at gazillion dollars.
Yeah.
There's not that much diversity in there.
Yeah.
Right? Like the guy, and let's even look at the crypto ones. That's kind of most recent, the
Yes.
big ones.
Yes.
I think there's only one where I remember there was a lady from the Middle East or something who was what was it called? OneCoin or some
Oh, yes.
there
was a specific coin that was,
yeah.
There-
So there's only like one. If you think about diversity from like gender, race, whatever, I only know that woman in
Yeah.
specifically the crypto space.
Yes.
The rest is men out here just taking us to the laundry.
Yes.
And like really cornering that industry. Like am I not looking in the right
No,
places?
I think one thing why I see it from the perspective of there's a certain demographic that tend to do so well with these scams is the audacity. Like
I mean,
once you believe you have audacity and you have that
there's
belief in
nothing
yourself,
like the
and
audacity
it's-
of a white man.
Yes, that audacity is what gets you to. Because I watched, you recommended for me to watch
Yeah.
Bitcoin, and watching that, I started thinking. First of all, the audacity of actually this con could work. I go to my family and borrow a lot, $500,000.
Yeah. And like they're like, oh sure, I'll put my house, I'll remortgage my house to give you the money, and no one's
Yes,
questioning
yes.
what are you doing.
Yes. And the person is saying, ever since they were young, they always thought they always saw themselves as a criminal. So
Yes.
they wanted to be rich and to be rich quick.
And he is so confident
Yes.
in I think that's what blew my mind. Even as I was beginning, when I started watching it,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure he's either being interviewed from prison for him to be this open.
Yes.
Because it starts with, since I was a kid,
Yes.
I just wanted to be a criminal.
Yes.
And he walks through all the crimes because it started first of all with what was his first one before they did the car
when
thing?
he was really young, he did the prescription, the scripts. the
Yes,
prescription.
they were stealing people's prescription
Prescriptions.
drugs and then selling them.
Yes, getting, I think, Xanax or something.
And then when he was caught, which to be fair, that guy, you can see consistently, he found a loophole and he has stuck with that loophole.
Yes.
That's the one thing that was very consistent. Because
Yeah.
even that one,
Yeah.
when they were caught, he ratted out the other folks.
Yes.
So that he himself doesn't get any punishment.
Oh, yes, that's true. That's
right?
true. Yeah.
So even his friends were like, he ratted us out and that's how their friendship
Yeah.
fell out.
Yeah.
Then now they jumped into this new con for the car,
Yes.
the car business.
Yes.
And then now I don't even think they were really caught. They just mismanaged.
Yes, the money.
The money.
He was conned by his friend. I think the guy who
Oh,
he later
yes.
turned in and
Yeah.
sold out
Yes.
is the one who took most of the money out.
Yes.
Yes.
And then they cut him out.
Yes.
This new guy tells him,
Yes.
there's this thing called cryptocurrency.
Yes.
Let's go into that.
Yeah.
And then now they went in like full, and then this guy is conning people and I think maybe it's also a symptom of the society we live in now, where they knew, okay, we just need to have like 2-3 people
Yes.
who have, visibility.
Yes.
We post them and we just watch the money roll in.
Yes.
So that's how they got like Floyd Mayweather
Yes,
and DJ
Okay,
Khaled.
DJ Khaled was there. Yeah.
To like post.
Yes.
And then and he's talking about how, we figured what's, first of all, creating their website and their pitch.
Yes.
They went and found this company that had a pitch.
Exactly
And
the
then let me tell you, these guys, I think I'm so impressed by how also equally dumb they were.
Yes.
So for example, they said they went and took this guy's proposal and replaced the company name with their company name. But do you realize they couldn't even do that themselves? So they said they went on Fiverr,
and
found
got
someone
somebody to do it.
to just go find and replace.
Yes.
Then that's what they were using. Then they're telling each other, okay, people how will be taken seriously?
Yes.
Let's say we're from Harvard.
Yeah.
They all go put on LinkedIn, Harvard.
And again, audacity. Once you have that, I think you're able to move across anything and actually make people believe in you more.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so what's really fascinating to me is I know people who are actual owners or founders of startups.
Yes.
And I've seen how much work they go through trying to get funding.
Yeah.
These people who I know are black people, right?
Yeah.
So for sure, the amount of due diligence that goes through to even just get $200,000 of funding.
Yes.
These guys were nobody was vetting.
Yes.
And they go on their website and they say, and put you could see they were photoshopping like a Visa onto like cards.
Yes.
And saying that for their currency, there's a card that you can go and it's a Visa card.
Yeah.
It's only when the reporter was researching, then called Visa and Visa were like, no, we don't know these folks.
Yeah.
But how are they just running through life? And they're so big where now they're in the face of, they're in public, they're advertising, you're getting big people to talk about your product.
Yes. Is this as our society sort of believing what we see as long as it has a certain stamp to it?
I to be fair, I think it's a lot of the these fallouts that have happened with cryptos, I think are a big symptom of what our society lives in now.
Yes.
Where I am just let's say I have no knowledge of, say, cryptos or that space, right? I have no knowledge at all.
Yeah.
But I can be on Instagram and I see DJ Khaled post something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, if it's Khaled who's posted, let me go follow and let me go put my money into this thing.
Yes.
Which is if you think about it, it's a very strange time we're living in.
Yes, yes.
That's how a lot of like it truly is a symptom of we live in a very social media and kind of I want to be part of this cloud
Yes.
kind of
Yes, yes,
world.
Yes. And you're thinking the other person who is stamping it for you has done the due diligence.
Yes. Like, why would I think DJ Khaled has done
Yes.
enough due diligence
Yes.
and has enough financial knowledge?
Yes.
No hate to DJ Khaled, but just saying, where have we come to this world that's how
yeah.
we think?
I even see myself having the same, and I give a personal story. Back then in Kenya, like I think around 2013, there was 2012, 2013, there was an ongoing Ponzi scheme. And somebody came to our office, I think it was called Bullish or something. Somebody came to our office and they were like, oh, you know, there's this thing going on. But we all knew it was a Ponzi scheme. But because this person who seems to know more than we are, and they hold us, they're a bit at work. They were more of a lead in the team. Yeah,
So you kind of look up to them.
Yeah, I was looking up to them, and I was thinking, oh, if they're, I know it, back in my mind, I know it's a Ponzi scheme. But they seem to know what they are doing. It's like they're manipulating the Ponzi scheme and they'll get in and get out. I almost put my money in there well knowing because the other person had already done it. So it comes back again to if you're looking up to...
True.
Yes.
Okay, true.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, back then we didn't have the internet.
Yes.
So it's more localized.
Yes,
so
yes.
as long as it's somebody who that person looks
Yes.
like they are
Yeah.
CFO, whoever,
Yes,
they
yes.
must know what they're talking about.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. No. I just that entire thing truly fascinated me.
Yeah.
Now the irony, which that to be fair, that where now they decided to go find a lawyer.
Yes.
And they're like, let's go on the internet and look for a lawyer. So they search and they're like, law firm. And then they went and picked the law firm when we looked at their website. It looked good.
Yes.
So we picked. Then turns out that law firm doesn't exist. It's also a
scammer.
scammer. I was like,
The scammers got scammed.
oh my God.
Yeah. I think that's a very good show just to watch in terms of
Yeah, highly recommend watch
Yes.
Bitcoin because
Bitcoin on Netflix.
yeah, because it is such an interesting view on the audacity of just
Yes.
to be fair, honestly, white men
Yeah.
who are just and he's able to and then at the end of all this, he did the exact same he did way back.
Yes.
When they were caught, he cut a deal to rat
Yes.
out all the other folks.
Yes.
And then now he himself served zero time.
Zero
Got
time.
0 time.
You know, there's something he said at the very end that sort of caught my eye. And I think this is why we don't have much diversity especially when you're looking at gender diversity in this coming world. He said something about he's not empathetic to the people that he doesn't know.
True.
So
Yeah, he did say
you're
that.
sitting somewhere with your Bitcoin somewhere with your Ethereum coins, and as long as you're just a number on the internet, if he doesn't know you, he's not putting a face to you, and
He can't re- he just can't
really relate. So even if he goes and transfers, I think he said he transferred like 100,000
Yeah.
from somebody who gave him a password by mistake.
Yeah.
And he can't relate what he's doing with a person. And I think especially for women, we do have a lot of empathy. Inborn in us. So
Yeah.
yes.
Women, we need to have less empathy. This world is hard.
To move through
To
quickly.
move this, to
Yes.
have the audacity of a white man,
Yes.
cut out the empathy.
Yes.
I'm not saying go scam, but I mean that was truly just I mean a really good watch. But also a really clear view of this is basically how a good chunk of these things operate.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But then what was interesting is at some point when they are running this scam of theirs, which is a crypto coin, and a company in South Korea was interested in
Yes.
purchasing them or partnering with them.
I think it was they wanted to
investor.
invest into
Yes.
into their idea.
Yes. So now when they're called to go to South Korea,
Yeah.
to present
Yeah.
their technical innovation.
Yes.
And Then now all their employees, it was like all hands on deck to now build a fake product.
Yes.
So it's like, if people are working day and night, then just build something
Yes.
that they were working so hard to just put together, to patch together something.
Yeah.
Then at the end of the day, the product was that they were going to, the guy is going to tell them when he's going to, because part of the pitch
Yes.
involved a live demo.
Yes.
So their solution was that guy, when he gets to the store,
Yes.
and basically the idea is that he taps from their app,
Yes.
and their app. So when they say they were all hands on deck to build a product, it was all hands on deck to build an app that is like a prototype app.
Yes.
It's not functioning in the real world. It's just running on some local
Yes, yes,
servers.
yes.
And the agreement was, now when he gets there, they know, and he lets them know when he taps on their end, they now press a button to like run the transaction.
Yes, yes, yes.
So it's not working.
Yeah.
But the amount of effort, and even the two, I think they were Russian guys, the
Yeah.
two guys who had been hired to
Yeah.
do their technical solution.
Yeah.
Like even them, they were like, yeah, we were working so hard to build something fake. We could have just built a
There
real
was
thing.
somebody sitting behind to press a button
Yeah.
that removes like 5 cents
Yeah.
or $5
Yes.
from the app just to show that it
Just
works.
to show.
Yeah.
And then that doesn't work.
Yeah.
The demo doesn't work. But somehow this guy, his partner, finessed the investment company in South Korea
Yeah.
such that the agreement was, well, they say it didn't work.
Yes.
But they say, we'll shoot a video to show, like a promo video
Yeah.
to show the real life transaction, but we'll
We'll
also
just
fake.
edit.
We'll
Yeah.
just edit it. I was like,
It's the way that I think they were able to pitch the
these
whole-
guys clearly had a skill set.
Yes.
At what point do you not think, clearly this skill set is working? Why can't I use it
Yes,
legit?
yes,
Because they
that's true.
had a
Yeah.
skill set.
Yeah.
They truly did.
Yeah. I think there's something else that comes out from there is the confidence they had in something that does not exist, and they were able to sell that confidence to people investing like, was it like $15 million
Yes.
into this? Like a lot of money. So confidence is the number one
It's
skill,
key.
maybe.
I
Yes,
mean,
it's a
this
skill.
is, we need to move in life.
Yeah.
Now, back to the romance scammers I was saying.
Oh, yes,
in
yes,
West
yes.
Africa. This is where I say they're not maximizing their potential. Clearly on the internet, instead of sending emails about I am a Nigerian prince,
Yes.
or trying to send mass emails to try and hook 2-3 people,
Yes.
who you'll con maybe $50,000
Yes.
over a period of 12 months, because those romance scams, if you watch them, they're very involving.
Yes.
So they start texting. It's like you're trying to date the person,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So you have to build trust before you now start asking for money. That's probably 3 months. Like this time you're putting in there
Yes,
to
yes,
build that trust,
yes.
and you already have access to the internet. Just go big like this, dudes. Go into crypto where clearly no one's vetting whatever the hell is happening.
Yes.
Like, stop. I mean, again, scamming is bad.
Yeah.
But, I mean, maximize the potential.
Yeah,
You're already online.
Yes.
Why are we still doing these small
Yeah, small scams,
Yeah.
love scams. It's I don't know. It's we still maybe haven't reached to the audacity levels of
that what's just missing
Yes,
is
yes.
audacity.
yes.
That's exactly what we're missing.
Yes.
Or which makes me think of what's his name? Hash Papi was doing his was a banking scam, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was the COVID funds for the Americans. So he got through into those COVID funds
Yeah.
that were meant to go to individual people. So he became those individual
Oh, they
people.
were just siphoning.
They
And
were
then
just
he ended
siphoning
up
funds.
partnering also with like bigger other big scammers.
Yeah.
So him was global.
Allegedly.
Well, yes, allegedly.
Well, he's
Still
in prison now,
Is
so
he?
there's nothing
Okay.
alleged about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he at least he went big. But yeah, I mean, folks, if you want to be out here scamming, that effort of romance scamming is a lot of effort.
But can we also talk about that love scams? The big ones we've heard about. How do you find diversity in them? Like
That's a good point.
gender, it will always be men. It will
That's
always
a
be
good point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even for love scams,
That's
we still
true.
haven't diversified.
A large chunk of them is
Yeah.
men.
Yes.
Actually, that's very true.
Yeah.
But is it actually a scam?
It is. 'Cause
It is.
I think it also depends on what you define as love. Do you know what I
Wait,
mean?
define as love or define as a
one
scam?
person is looking for financial security.
Yes.
I'm willing to give financial
Yes.
security. If
Yeah.
you return love to me in place of that financial security, everyone is
But
happy. There's no scam within
there's
that.
a promise to it. Like
Yes.
yes.
And there's no transparency. That
Yeah.
is fine. That happens in real life.
Yes.
In real life, where there is like in sugar daddy and sugar baby situations,
Yeah.
that's the understanding.
Yeah.
I am one party is providing
Yes.
money, one party is providing
Love,
love,
affection, companionship.
whatever it
yes,
is, right?
yes.
So there's clear there that this is a transactional,
Yeah.
and these are the terms of the transaction.
Yeah.
But in a scam, one party is not aware.
Yes.
Also, okay.
So the person who is being scammed, they're genuinely connecting with someone
Yeah.
who's telling them, I'm based in Iraq in an oil field,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they're genuinely like talking to this person, and it's like, oh, we connect, and these people are very intentional and very manipulative,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So the person being scammed has no idea.
Yeah.
So even when the person is asking for money, they usually start with like a small amount to just test them,
Yeah.
test and see is this, and it starts with something small like, oh, this is happening, blah blah blah. I just need $50, something that doesn't ring your alarm bells.
Yeah. And some of them I've had, it starts with, oh, we can do like a video call, you know. I don't have a camera for a good
Yeah.
camera for
Yeah.
a video call.
But with this,
So they
in
send you-
this day and age, you think people are still
Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh,
It's
yes.
a big business.
It's huge.
It's a big
that's
business.
that with the amount of information that's out there.
Yes, it happens.
Yeah, but you know what they do is they target the ones I've watched, a big amount of people who end up being scammed, especially the internet romance scams, are usually older.
Yes.
They're older people who they're not comfortable or confident using the internet, right? So because even what we have watched where they've asked someone, like there's these companies that help, debunk or actually investigate if the person you're talking to is actually
Yeah.
a real person, if they actually love you or not. They do the most basic things. Because this person, maybe they talk to them on WhatsApp. They'll share, and they always share pictures. Or
Yes,
this is
yes,
me
yes.
on the oil rig. This is me working. They just take that picture, reverse image search, and
Find it.
this is some guy living in Pennsylvania, like some honest person doing an honest job.
Yeah.
And somebody's because they just grab images. But it's
Yeah.
very simple things that they use to find them.
Yeah.
So which is where the people they target are people who are not comfortable using
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
never grew up with the internet.
Yeah,
Certain generation. Also, I don't know, maybe people who are in a vulnerable situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you can tell it's usually a certain demographic, but it's happening a lot.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a pandemic.
It's sad, you know.
It's broken like families, like left families poor. But I remember watching something somewhere where this person was getting scammed, and he got really. It was a guy getting scammed by, I think, somebody in Nigeria. But they ended up becoming friends. They went to a point where he actually understood the scammer's perspective. And it's quite interesting. I'll try and find it. But the person being scammed now started engaging with this person, and eventually they became friends.
Yeah.
He was a university student, I think, who was trying to... I need to find the story somewhere. But there's always the need behind some of these scams.
Yeah.
And sometimes, even though they're breaking the other side.
Yeah. And if something interesting with this romance scams as well is a lot of times people being scammed are in Western countries, are in developed countries.
Yeah, who can afford to be scammed?
And I think there's also a naivety that comes, or a security that comes, and I think we were discussing this a few weeks ago with friends over dinner. I can see how living here in Switzerland, if you're born and raised here,
Yes.
you're raised by default trusting people. The systems work.
Yes,
Things work.
yes.
Everything works.
Yeah.
So you grow up with also a very shielded view of the world. So you go through life trusting people until they show you why they should not be trusted. Versus when you grow up in a developing country, as we are raised to not trust anyone
Yes.
until they prove to you. So by default, you're just very cautious of everything.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So which is based a lot of the data I've seen, I can see why a lot of the people who are scammed, especially this kind of scams, are people in developed countries.
Yeah.
Where because sometimes I see these stories and I'm like, why would somebody have just met on the internet decide like have even the balls to ask me for money?
Yeah.
Why?
I see the reverse of, we also get scammed. Like in Kenya, I know scams that exist, but those scams are created by fear. So somebody will come and instill fear in you to make you give out your money. And a good example is like one day I was, a long time ago, I got a call, and it was a random call at midnight, and somebody was like, we are coming for you, we are at your door, send us money right now. Of course, it's somebody who's on a random number. Of course I'm scared. I would think somebody, a thief or somebody who's coming after me. So for us, because now they know we cannot trust, they instill fear.
It's a different tactic.
It's a different tactic, but
Yeah.
it also exists.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, to be fair, we are scammed a lot.
Yes.
And I think as a lot of it is through churches, and
Yes.
I put church in quote because
Yeah.
no, I mean, let's be honest.
Yes.
And again, this is a whole other episode because I personally, this is something that grinds my gears
Yes.
so bad.
Yes.
But we say that we're not scammed. We are scammed, but it's a different.
It's a different.
You tailor to the different markets
Yes,
and your
yes.
different demographic and your
Yes,
target
yes,
audience.
yeah.
But I think, I mean,
But do you think what would be big scams? Because I know like the Bitcoin kind of scam was in Kenya somewhere where
crypto.
like crypto.
You know, actually, that's
Yes.
a really good point.
Yeah.
Because I remember one of our friends was talking about what was happening in Uganda.
Yes.
There was some really big, because the government had to like crack down on crypto
Yes.
in Uganda because
Yeah.
there was a lot of kind of scamming that was happening there.
Yes.
But I wonder if it's also, okay. So when I look at let me try and organize my thoughts. There's an element of when we see celebrities or whoever advertising a crypto or whatever,
Yes.
the story that's been given in that space
Yeah.
is that you can go from zero to wealthy really quickly.
Yes. Yes.
So there's a period or space we are in where there's that you just want to get from zero. You know, I want to do minimal
Yes,
and
yes.
make the most,
Yes.
right? So there's that element. But then there's also an element of desperation.
Yes.
Especially if I think about our countries where the economy is not great, you're working your hardest, but then cost of living is, you're running and cost of living is overlapping you.
Yes. Yes.
So you're just trying to do much more so it's yes, we have been raised to always with this notion of, you need to work hard and you need to blah, blah, and nothing comes easy and things like that. But then when these things come along, there's also that space of desperation where you're willing to be like, because the amount of money that's coming from us
Yeah.
in the crypto space,
Yeah.
I bet you is not the same in like a developed market,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
Because the developed market, I'm more willing to put in $10,000.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Versus if I'm living in Kenya, I may be willing to try with 1,000 shillings.
And they're gonna go for the masses.
Yeah.
So they will try something that appeals
Is
to the masses.
broad,
Yes.
yeah.
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 But they do exist. Like I feel versions of like crypto scams exist.
Yeah.
Ponzi schemes.
Yeah.
I think we've seen several over the years.
Yes.
Yeah, but they appeal to the masses. Yeah.
Yeah.
in
I
sort of
guess
ways.
in our sides, you
Yeah.
have to do something that is, you have to do little and
Yes.
broad.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. That's the best way to capture it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we definitely need to find better ways to. I mean, if you're out there scamming, first of all, I don't think it's great, but
Yes.
at the same time,
It's
it would
easy
be
to say
nice.
if you don't have to. If you look at a lot of these guys who get into this, it's hardship.
Yeah.
If you've seen
It is.
extreme poverty and
Yes.
pain,
Yes.
and you've seen extreme money and wealth,
Yes. Yes.
you'll definitely go for that, and you'll go by any means possible. I've spoken to people who've lived a life of crime and they've dedicated themselves. That I've seen rich and I've seen poor.
Yeah.
I prefer to be poor.
Yeah.
I mean rich.
To be rich.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's my question. Is there no way, if you get a windfall from, let's say you try some scam and you get a windfall, and again, maybe it's because I am super cautious about things. I would think to myself, let me take this 100,000 that's fallen in my lap through this thing I've done, and I've gotten away, nobody has noticed. Let me take that and put somewhere where it will multiply. I don't want to put that 100,000 back in there because now if I'm caught, I've lost the 100,000 and then I've been caught.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not back to zero. I'm like now.
I know, but I
negative.
got a ball though. I got a ball.
But that's
Come on
that's
now.
the other thing.
Come on now. I gotta
the
shine.
other part that fascinates me.
Yeah.
People
gotta
who
shine.
scam at big levels.
Yeah.
I don't understand the need to like just now you're balling, now you're putting it. It's like you're putting a floodlight on yourself. Does that
no.
make sense? Like we saw that with Hush Papi was
Yeah.
out here. And like just a full on out here. People are like, this he's saying is an influencer. This math is not mathing.
I think it's so hard to live low after you've had
To be
such
quiet.
a windfall
Yeah,
of money.
I would be quiet. I would disappear
sure?
to some island somewhere, Nauru. I don't even know if it's a place.
Then
I'll
when you
disappear.
when you get there, you're like, oh, I could actually buy this island. You're like,
But
you
buy
know,
the
it keeps
island
coming
and
for you.
live quietly. The fact that they put these floodlights on themselves is,
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
if there's somebody who's studying the psychology of scammers, really fascinating.
Yeah.
Extremely.
I feel maybe that's why we are not seeing a lot of gender diversity in
Crime.
scammers. Yeah. Because maybe the ones who've scammed, maybe the women who've
They're
done the
quiet.
big scams,
I
they're
mean,
quiet.
Good point.
quiet.
If someone is coming out here and they're female and they're getting away with it quietly, hit us up
That's true.
Yes.
Because
think-
that's a good point.
Also,
Maybe
I
that's
think
what
Maybe
it-
we're
they're
doing.
quiet.
At
yes.
some point, we are all making money to have nice things.
Yeah.
Nice things are visible. That's unfortunate.
you just-
A Bugatti is not a Bugatti because
Security.
you can't. You
it's
know.
different. I think if I'm trying to make big money, it's for financial security. It's not necessarily, but this is where I think maybe men and women differ.
Yes.
I don't need, and even if I have the Bugatti, I'll have that Bugatti in like, maybe I'd come live in Zurich where having a Bugatti is regular.
Yes.
Where you won't stand out.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to take a Bugatti to my village.
Yeah, but
then
but
how
the
am I
whole
explaining this
aim
lifestyle?
is to show that auntie and uncle who thought this guy ain't gonna be nothing in life. Now I'm out here in a Bugatti in potholes.
Can I say our tribe, my Kikuyu tribe, will probably be scamming and you will never know.
That's a good point. That's another
That's
thing.
true.
People in her tribe are probably out here scamming and still driving a beat up Toyota.
Yes, a beat up car with
Yeah.
an old jacket.
People from my mom's tribe are not. They're living large on loans. No hate to you guys.
Yes.
But no, it would be good to really maybe I'll dig a bit. But maybe there's actually it's happening.
Yeah.
But maybe due to the nature of, if we're to go nature versus nurture.
Yes.
Maybe there's a way that there is some diversity, but then like the women are just out here quietly living in their scam. If you are, kudos.
Yes.
I hope you're not hurting people out here.
Yeah.
But maybe that's the difference. But it would just be nice to see, you know how they say with improvements in things like technology, etc. You also see things like crimes kind of up level.
Yeah.
Right. So there are people who are still sending emails about being a Nigerian prince, like just up level.
You know who I would like to see being scammed? The government.
In Kenya, we are being scammed every damn day.
Yes. It's scamming the people. It's not the other way around.
Yeah. In Kenya, I know for sure we are being scammed by the government. That is the scam.
Yeah.
That's a whole other episode.
So if your cousin pulls up and says, "Yo, you need that pavement done on the way to Kisomo or wherever, I'll give you the contract. You just cut me something for Christmas." Is it that simple?
That is,
But it's still coming out from people's taxes,
Yes.
And maybe that project is to help the people. So you're actually scamming the people by not giving them that.
yes.
Yeah.
And I think there's a difference. And one day we'll talk about governments and how governments operate.
Yeah.
I don't think if someone is coming to, somebody is giving a contract like to a friend or to whatever, right? To make
Cousin.
to build the road.
Yeah.
One, ethically and integrity and all those things, that's not right. Right? So if we look at codes of conduct, whatever,
Yeah.
fine.
But
That's not ideal. My issue with our people, and let me just say our government, is I give a cousin, hey, build that road. The issue is the road is never built.
Yes.
Or they'll come, the initial plan was this was going to be grade A, tarmacked fully with all the bells and whistles and reflectors and everything. They just come and pour maram and compact it. And then you're told, well, there is the road. That's what bothers me. Sure, at least make sure that people get the service.
Yeah.
Where you just disappear, road money just went.
Yes. You've taken away what was meant for the
Yes.
people. Yes. So you're scamming the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is,
There is the documentary, I think, somewhere on Zim, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, and Patney.
Gold Mafia. Your
The-
people.
The
Yes,
gold
yes.
mafia.
Who is being
Now we
scammed
need to
here?
be careful with that. I'm going back home soon. So
Allegedly.
Yes.
this is all
It's the
alleged.
people who are losing out,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's citizens who are losing out.
Yeah.
I mean,
But yeah, anyway, the governments are custodians of people's money. So
Yes.
at the end of the day, if you scam
Yes.
the government, you're scamming the people.
The people.
And true,
Yes.
like I've seen a lot of politicians who come in with the right idea, and the
Yes.
right feeling, and the right enthusiasm. But if you come into a system that's fixed, where everyone is eating at different levels, but we are still eating,
Yeah.
you are not going to come here from your university and try and teach us about what politics is about.
Yeah.
Because here it's fixed already.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fixed. Everyone's eating.
everyone's eating.
You know what I mean? You don't
But
want to.
let everyone eat, but let people get their
I know the people will come later.
No, let people get their oh my god. Let people get their just due.
Yes.
People are working hard, paying taxes, and also government is, and again, I'd love to discuss this deeper, but it's interesting living in places where you realize, oh, the government is actually your servant, right? Versus we
the other way
have
around, yeah.
grown up in the way we are the servants of the government,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So where you're begging the government to do, you're already paying your taxes,
Yeah.
but you're still begging them to do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Versus now living in places where, oh, I can write in to the government to complain and say this law specifically is very unjust, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then Switzerland is also a whole other different. This is like next level of democracy.
Yeah.
Whereby anyone can put in, if you can get a certain number of signatories,
Yeah.
people can vote on whatever your idea is,
Yeah.
right? So like this is also, we live somewhere where it's now the government is truly a servant of the people.
Yeah.
But it would just be nice if but I think also, I mean, I'm hopeful because I see over time, even at least in Kenya, I can see there's a much better understanding of our votes and the power that our votes have. So it will take time, but man, would love to get to a point where
Yeah.
I think when everybody feels the pinch, like
That's
right now,
true.
yeah, that's true.
And we live in an age where, we have these discussions, and
Yeah.
you hope that we will spark the energy within someone's eyes to go in and change the system. But
Yeah.
so much information about government corruption is out there, and we are all ingesting it, and the government are still eating.
Yeah.
They're still eating. Everything is business as usual.
Yeah.
Let them talk and hammer and chatter in their podcasts and everything. We are still eating.
Eating.
Yeah.
Nothing. Status quo remains.
Yeah.
Man. But yeah, if we have any listeners, maybe apart from, anyway, not just going to say apart from our friends, including our friends, if you have any favorite scammers or scam stories, let us know. Because this is something I absolutely,
This is Jackie's.
I am fascinated by scam. Like, I would like, and don't, is there even, you know how in crime, there's always, now you see there's psychologists or people who study
Yes.
criminals to understand their thinking.
Yeah.
I'm curious if there's also psychologists, people who study kind of scammers.
yeah.
I would love to understand the mentality and the
Yeah.
thought process of how things. But like again highly recommend watching Bitcoin on Netflix.
Yeah.
Because I think that guy, for as much as it's insane how open he is and honest about how
Yes.
it's also a really good insight into, I think many people, if they're in his position, the ones I've seen being interviewed,
Yes.
they try to package themselves as, I was pushed into this position.
Yes.
Or,
They make themselves a victim of
Exactly.
the situation.
Yes.
But he comes out straight
he
and says,
comes,
I'm a scammer.
I'm a scammer. And
Yes.
he's very honest.
Yes.
His only issue is he has no accountability.
Yes.
Everything was everyone's problem
Yeah.
or everyone's fault
Yeah.
as to why they were caught. He has no regret in the scamming. He
Yes.
has the regrets that they were caught. But he gives a brilliant insight into like just how fascinating the thought process that happens there. But no, highly recommend. But yeah, hopefully this has been really good. Hopefully we'll see you in the next episode.
See you in the next one.
Share as widely as you can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.